Hello and welcome to this Yoga for Sleep flow. My name is Holly Cooper and I'll be guiding you through this flow that ideally is here to help down-regulate the nervous system and get your body to recognize a relaxed state. So if you're someone that tends to have quite a busy life, I mean a lot of us, most of us do, and trying to get to bed, say in the evenings or even after a daytime shift for a nighttime shift, it can be really hard, and your body's in this kind of like hectic, kind of almost cortisol state, and to be able to try to just go straight to sleep is challenging for so many. So these practices are designed to allow you to just slow the systems down and start to get the body into a rested state. So then it helps you to go to sleep. And this practice can be done as I am on a mat, or you might be doing this from your bed any time of day. So even don't put the pressure on yourself that you are expected to have a sleep afterwards, but even just the rest that you gain from this practice is going to be hugely beneficial for you. I like to make my practices quite sensory experience. So as I am here on this lovely bolster, I'm going to also be using some other props here, but I've got with me some Made by Cooper's products. So this spray here is going to be really useful whether you use that on your yoga mat or you use it on your pillow. But this particular one is a sleepy head one, so it's designed to help you with your sleep with scents like lavender, so really calming sensory effect. And I'm just going to spritz that over the bolsters, my yoga mat, and you could be doing this on a pillow before your practice or before bed. And then behind me I've also got my diffuser, so that's also got some lovely oils from Made by Cooper's in it. So I've got the scents all around the room. I've also got an eye pillow that's filled with lavender as well. So you can add these to your practice, and after your practice maybe have a nice warm cup of herbal tea. So just kind of like make the whole practice really wholesome for yourself as well. Make it smell good, make it taste good, just awaken your senses into it. This is a really useful thing to help you get extremely present in a practice as well, like open up your senses to things. One last thing before we get started. So you'll see that I've got these props around me. We've got 2 bolsters and I've got 2 blocks. Don't worry if you don't have those things to hand. You could simply have some rolled up blankets or some pillows from bed, just kind of roll them up so they've got some sort of kind of firmness to them. Blocks as well, you could just simply use some nice firm books that you have lying around. Okay, and then if you want to have a blanket, you could have a blanket nearby to keep you warm, because as you're lying on the ground for a lot of this practice using props, you can, like, temperature can drop quite a bit. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to place my bolster, my meditation cushion to the side, and just for a moment, if you've got your bolster or you've got a rolled up pillow, then we're going to place that to begin with underneath our knees. So particularly if you've got any lower back issues, any backaches or anything, it's really nice to have a little bit of support for your knees. And this is going to enable your lower back to just really anchor down into the ground. So first and foremost, let's just settle into our mat and arrive into the space here. Maybe just adjust things for you to just make sure that everything's comfortable. And by all means, if you're not comfortable, then feel free to come out of the position. Like, this practice of restorative yoga is always about being comfortable. So we use the props to enable us to find comfort and be effortless in our practice. So let's just start by wiggling down into the hips. Allow them to kind of really press into the mat surface beneath you or your bed, wherever you are. And then wiggle into the shoulders. See if you can really get them to anchor down into the ground beneath you as well. Good. You might place your soles of your feet together like I am, or you might actually extend your legs out wide, your choice. So I invite you to let your eyes close for now, or maybe there's just a light, soft gaze. Let the eyes almost feel like they're heavy, like dropping into the face. And And then can you just see if there's just any sort of gripping going on around the face, like the jaw, the cheeks, the lips. Just maybe it helps to have a bit of a yawn or a big stretch. Really stretch out the jaw. Often I personally do like grind without even realizing we're doing it, and this can cause a lot of strain into the neck. So unconsciously we're doing a lot of that additional sort of tensing in the body. So if you could just take a moment to really just stretch the jaw, soften out any gripping there, let the tongue just rest into the mouth, and then let's just take a round of a few breaths. If we're going to try and downregulate the nervous system, our breath is a useful tool to help us to tap into that, the parasympathetic nervous system. So begin just taking a few rounds of natural breath, nothing forced, nothing held, no gripping. And just pay attention to it. How does it feel, your breath? Noticing the inhale and the exhale. Good, and we'll begin to inhale through the nose if you haven't already. And just very lightly pursing your lips as if you're blowing out a candle, we'll exhale through the mouth. And again, a breath in through the nose. Lightly pursing the lips as you exhale through the mouth. And again, a breath in. And a breath out. This time, inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the nose as well. So just feel the air filtering out of your nostrils. Good. Inhale, breathing in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. So the hair's playing a clever role in filtering out any dirty air. Just allow that to come out, in and out of the nostrils as you just continue to breathe there. Let the ground almost be this sort of feedback for you, so you can feel as you breathe the impact it has on the back of your body, the spine, the ribs, everything just having or connecting down into the surface beneath you. And if there's certain parts of the body that you just don't touch the floor, can you perhaps breathe a little bit more into that area? Let your breath really be this expansion of your body and a release on the exhale. Good, just a few more breaths here. And I invite you to let go of any expectations. If any outcomes from this, just allow yourself to just be really in the moment here. Don't worry what's going to be next or anything. Being present is really key in this practice, to allow this practice to be a feeling practice. Less doing, more feeling and sensory. Good. One more breath there. Inhaling. And exhaling. Well done. Just let your attention come to your fingertips. And you're going to slowly let your palms meet. The palms come together in a prayer position. Feel free to use any of the oils you may have to just place a little bit on your wrists if need be. And then rub your palms together. Build up a little bit of heat into those palms. And you're going to place the palms over your eyes. So you'll feel darkness as your hands cover the eyes, and just welcome in that reset for your eyes for a moment as you take in a deep breath in. And an exhale. Let your hands now and the fingertips run through the crown of the head. So you're just starting to now massage around the crown of the head. Maybe the pressure is quite firm or soft, whatever you prefer right now in this moment. But allowing your own touch to ignite those hormones, the oxytocin in the body. So this is our love hormone, but also the hormone that we associate with safety. So this is a wonderful hormone when we're perhaps feeling lonely or anxious or at all like not able to sleep. This simple touch on our own is so beneficial to ignite that oxytocin. So don't be afraid of this personal touch there. Great. And notice how it feels. Notice how it feels with any tingling sensation. Good, well done. Let's just start to now release that there. Reach the up over the head. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Now you're going to slowly draw the soles of the feet to your bolster. You can let the feet just touch the surface of your bolster there. Maybe wiggle your hips again a little bit so you wake up into the hips. Good. And we're just going to let the arms just remain heavy overhead. We're going to just let the bolster roll away from beneath us, but bend your knees, bringing the feet back to the floor. So with the arms just lengthened overhead, just take a moment to just see if you can settle any big arch that's going on in your back there. So let the backs of the ribs just start to press down and just feel this sense of like dropping down into the mat beneath you. Continue paying attention to that breath. Good. And we're going to take a breath in. And as we exhale, we're going to simply let the knees float down to the right. Good. Now, if you feel like your knees are kind of hovering up in the air and you don't feel comfortable there, feel free to grab your bolster or one of the blocks. And it might be that you actually just rest those knees on the bolster there, and that's totally sufficient as well. Or it might be that you don't actually need that at all. So you just keep your knees rolling over to the right there. And we're just going to pause for a moment here. So rest and digest. Just allow the systems of the body to slow down. Let go of any urgency to just be doing more or to rush, to feel like you're accomplishing something, because it's in this rest that a lot of magic happens. Allow the weight of the body to sink down into the surface beneath you. And then maybe feel that you can let the left cheek turn the other direction to the knees, and feel the left cheek get heavier and heavier towards the ground. See if you can direct your breath into the left lung. And exhale. Breathing into the left lung. Exhale. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. just start to bring your attention into your left foot. That inner arch of your left foot on the ground. Bring your attention to the left big toe. And then as you press down lightly through that inner arch and the left big toe, can you now draw down through the second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and feel the knee come back through the center, letting the other knee follow as you gradually allow both soles of the feet to meet the ground and your head turns to the center. Take a deep breath in and out, feeling the ground hold you, support you there. Good, let's again take a breath in. And you're going to exhale, allow the legs to float to your left side. And again, this might be comfortable for you, or you might prefer to place your bolster, pillows or block underneath the knees there for some support. So you're not feeling like you're kind of hanging out there, you've got some support to fully relax. And once you've found that place and this twist here, just start to again feel the back of the body get heavy. And the head turn, now we let the right cheek turn to the opposite direction to the knees. Soften again into the facial muscles if you've again perhaps created some gripping there unnecessarily. And now breathing into that right lung. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in and out. Good. Let your attention draw down into the right foot. So the inner arch of that right foot. And bring your attention to the right big toe. As your weight starts to slowly press into that inner arch, the big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe finds the ground as the knees together start to float back to the center. Recenter the head, recenter yourself on your mat, and again feel that moment of pause as your feet touch the ground and you're held, heavy but soft, effortless. Good. Maybe start to let your eyes slightly draw open. We'll just really slowly let the knees hug towards the chest. And maybe a gentle rock on your back if that feels okay with the surface you're on, whether it's harder or soft. Just be mindful of that and how it feels as you rock. Good, and we're just going to lower ourselves down over to one side to then carefully make our way back up to one side. Now really take your time here so you don't feel dizzy. Keep the head relatively low so you're not kind of again getting too much energy flow to the head as you move quickly. So take it slowly. We're going to move into a lovely supported pose here with the bolsters. Now you could again take to rolled up pillows, as long as they're nice and firm for you. But it might be that you find that this particular position is not ideal for your body shape or your kind of like the flexibility in your spine. So you might find that you want to actually take more lower surfaces in with the pillows, because we're going to start to bring our hip up to one side of the bolster, and we're going to have a slight gap between those two bolsters. With my legs here, I could simply stack them, or if that's uncomfortable, you could take a crisscross position there with your legs. I'm going to try and take a breath in here to really lengthen my spine up. So in order to kind of get into any side bends or twists, it's ideal to get a length first from the base of the spine, and then we can work through that mid part of the spine and start to lean over. So I'm taking my side of my waist over that first bolster and then threading my arm through underneath in between the gap, and then I'm resting my head on the top bolster. So this is relatively quite high, so it might be that you need to take just a very small light surface of a blanket or a pillow instead. So make sure that you get yourself comfortable. It might be that you have to make a few adjustments and wiggles and some shuffles, moving the hip here or there, so that you can be comfortable in your position. Now you might like just resting your top hand there like so on the bolster. Or there's another option here where you could actually take your block and you could rest that palm overhead, making sure that it has a surface to touch, because if it's just hanging out there and it's loose, it's not very restful for you. So I'm just going to let my hand rest over the top of the bolster there, over the side of my ear, touching the brick. And again, we can just start to settle in here. Allow the breath to flow, but there's a lot more breath perhaps going into that left side as we've got more reach into the left side. Maybe close your eyes for a moment, settle in. Pay attention to that breath and how we can feel the movement of the back of the rib cage against the bolster or your cushion. Notice where you can perhaps direct that breath a little bit more. Maybe that doesn't come easy. Maybe it's not so easy to really feel where your breath is. Like perhaps that might come with a little bit of practice, but again, it's in these opportunities that we can be present, that we can be more mindful and more intuitive to what's going on in the body. So with the scents, the smells, the tastes, like the touch of the ground, all these sensory experiences, perhaps that heightening of our senses then enables us to be more in tune with where the breath is, where it's not, if it's heavy, if it's soft, if it's quiet or if it's loud. Pay attention to it. Just a few more breaths. Making any adjustments if you need to. Beginning to bring your awareness to your toes, your fingers. Bringing some gentle movement here into these areas. Maybe you open your eyes lightly or you keep the gaze soft. If your top arm is reaching overhead like me, just start to now bring it back in front of you, settle it onto the bolster. And you can use that palm now to support your movement, to take it really, really slow. Again, head is heavy as you start to now just slowly unravel that bottom arm. Push the hand into the floor to carefully bring yourself back up. Take your time so that you don't rush this. So we will come into the other side. Simply for you, you could just swivel your hips to face the other way, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to move my bolsters so that you can still see me. So this time it will be your left hip up against the bolsters. Again, find a little bit of space there in between them, have the block to hand. And we'll place the left hip nice and close to the bolster. It maybe crisscross the legs or stack the knees. And get that breath in to enable you some length into the base of the spine. Rolling the side waist over that bolster. Make sure you're comfortable. So again, it might take a few adjustments. That left arm now threading through. And then we could either plant the front palm in front of us, or like I did before, my hand is now just planted onto that block overhead. A gentle reach up overhead, but it's completely effortless. I'm not having to hold any muscular effort here to remain in the pose. I can now just drop into the surface of the bolsters, supporting me, holding me. So can you find that place for you? Make sure you make all those adjustments you need to get into a comfortable place. And it might be different on this side to the last side. It might be that you can perhaps go with the bigger bolster, or perhaps you need to go with that lower, less padded pillow surface. Let's take a moment to settle back in. Close the eyes. How is your breathing? Can you hear your breath? This meditative rhythm of your breath. Constant flow and ebb and flow of breathing in and breathing out. Notice the temperature of the body. Is it cool or is it hot? Notice in your body where you may feel heavy or soft and light. But observing without any judgment to that. And become aware of which parts of your body are really connecting to the bolster beneath you. The breath in the backs of the ribs, touching the surface. attention to the fingers and toes. Some gentle movement here. And then if, like myself, you have your arm reaching overhead, let's slowly place it back down in front of your chest. Good. Slightly pressing that right palm into the bolster. We'll start to slowly ease out of the pose as we glide that left arm out from underneath us. And again, roll up through your spine, but keeping the head heavy, the head last to come up. Good. Maybe you need a sip of water, like I do, as we start to really shift the energy in the body. So let's now slowly bring our bolster to the end of our mat. We can stack those bricks. And we can use a bolster here, or you could use a brick. I like both variants, but this is going to be our final pose here in this restorative session. So have the brick to hand actually, and have the bolster under your knees to begin with. And you can just suss out which one you prefer, the option. So we're going to lie back down onto our back. Going to settle down into the backs of the ribs. And you're going to bring that bolster snug underneath your knees there, so it's touching your base of the buttocks as well. We're going to press into the feet on the ground. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, lightly start to peel your spine off the mat, bone by bone. Now, if you can reach your bolster, perhaps you can start to roll that bolster towards you. Now, if it requires maybe shifting the feet, widening them, or taking yourselves up on your tiptoes, you could do that to start to roll the bolster all the way up. So it starts to now slot in at the base of the spine, so at the sacrum. So you want to feel that you've got that bony part, the base of the spine, supported. And you've got a bit of the fleshy part of the buttock sort of coming off the edge there. Now this does take a little bit of trial and error again to just really suss out where you're comfortable. You ideally want to feel like you've just kind of like slotted into place and it's just super soothing for you to let the weight of your hips release. Now if that doesn't feel good, this is way too high for you, feel free to attempt it with a block or a brick. Not a soft surface, but it's still equally supportive. So I'm going to place the brick underneath there this time instead. It's a lovely way to just allow that weight to just root down and feel heavy. Good. And with the eye pillow to hand, you could place that over the eyes, so that scent of lavender, now allowing you to just drop into a place of rest. If the knees feel like, again, they want to have a little bit of support, they could bend into one another, or you could just keep your feet flat on the ground, your choice. Let's take a few moments here. The hips held. No sense of urgency. Just down regulating of the nervous system. Sending those signals to your brain that you are resting, you're safe. Letting the breath remain at ease, calm. For your parasympathetic nervous system. Drop any story, drop any expectations. And focus on this experience right now. Sensations. Where you feel heavy, where you feel soft and light. Where you feel hot or cold. Drop down a little bit more, right into the surface beneath you. And when you're ready, you just slowly bring your attention back into your feet, your toes. Press down into the mat beneath you. Let your palms come to touch the surface beneath you. Awaken that sense of touch. Take a deep breath in and out. Slowly inhale, start to lift your hips, lift your spine, bone by bone, off that surface of either the block, which you can now roll to the side, or if you're on your bolster there, you're just going to roll it away. Maybe you have to come onto your tiptoes to roll it away. Then we're going to lower it down through the spine, bone by bone. So feel the whole weight of your body now relax into the surface of the mat. If you haven't, maybe you grab the bolster or something to prop up your knees as we come to our final resting pose of Shavasana now. So maybe grab an eye pillow or a blanket, whatever you may have to hand to keep you warm. Maybe you need a sip of water or a bathroom stop before coming now to full deep rest in Shavasana. Let your eyes close, breathe in and breathe out. Take a gentle scan all the way through your body and breathe. Let the breath be natural, not forced. Let the toes wiggle a little bit and then let the toes relax. Feel the ankles, the weight of your heels on the ground, and let them relax. Draw your attention up through the calves and the shins of your legs, up to your kneecaps, the length of your thighs, into the sockets of your hips, the pelvis, the container, the holder there. Just let everything release into the surface of the mat. Let the belly soften. The lower back, the mid back, the upper back. And draw your attention to the space at your heart and the back of your heart as these places start to ground down. and relax. Draw your attention to your right shoulder, along the right arm, to the tips of your fingertips, and the right palm, drawing your attention back up to the elbow crease, to the right armpit, and relax that right arm. Draw your attention across the chest, the sternum, to the left shoulder, down through the left arm to the tips of the fingertips, the left palm, drawing your attention back up to the left elbow crease, and the left shoulder, and feel that whole left arm now relaxing. Draw your attention back to your throat, the center, up the throat, softening, the back of the neck, lengthening, relaxing the jaw, the lips, the cheeks, the ears, the eyes, the back of the head releasing down. Feel the eyes sink heavy into the face. Soften across the brow, the forehead. Now feel your whole body. Your whole body here, lying here, resting and relaxing. Yourself time to fully rest. Just a few more moments here. Now beginning to slowly deepen your breath. Become aware of how you're feeling. The experience you felt in your body, mind. Notice sensations and surroundings as you start to now feel the ground beneath your fingertips. Maybe notice the smells, the scents in the room, Any taste as you swallow, lubricate your lips. Maybe take a nice big yawn. Stretch your jaw. And let's slowly bring the soles of the feet back to the surface of the mat if they're not already there. Your hands come together in prayer. And like we began with, just start to rub your palms together, build some heat into your palms. And if, like me, you have an eye pillow, you're going to very slowly slide that off, but then replace the pillow with your hands. So you, again, keep that darkness for your eyes, a little reset for your eyesight. Let your fingertips lightly massage through your crown of your head again, this release of oxytocin. Gentle touch, massage, whatever feels good. And feeling maybe that tingling sensation. Good, we're going to slowly reach the arms up overhead. Lengthen the legs long, take a full body stretch. Stretch. And this may be your time to drift off, stay put, go to sleep. Or it might be your time to bring the knees to the chest, lightly rock to your side carefully. Again, not rushing, bringing your head up tall, bringing yourself up nice and slowly if you're coming out of that rested state. Take your time to not rush that. And it might be now that to come back from this restful state, you take some time now, let's come to a seated position if you're joining me, to come out of this practice slowly. So I invite you to maybe grab a hot drink. If you're at all near nature, maybe you take a step out in nature, feel the fresh air on your skin. So this is a nice way to kind of bring you back if you feel quite sleepy and dozy. But ideally, if you're doing this before sleep, I wish you a restful sleep, and whether that's in the day or the evening, a great day ahead or tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you to Made by Coopers for the lovely products here. I hope you can enjoy them from home, and namaste.